Okay, example 2 here. This one might be jumping out at you as like terrifying because of everyone's favorite thing, fractions. But it's okay, don't worry. No big deal. So still going to follow our steps from above, and that first one is to distribute. So I've got to distribute that fraction of 2/5 to the 15x and that negative 15. So again, when I'm distributing with the fractions, I want to turn both of those pieces into fractions by putting them over 1. So now this turns into, I'm doing 2 times 15 over 5 times 1. X minus 2 times 50 over 5 times 1. And then because that 100 is not inside the grouping, that stuff just gets carried down. So I could do a little bit of math, and maybe you don't need to show this step. Maybe you can skip that step and jump right to what I'm about to get to now. 2 times 15 is 30 over 5x minus 100 over 5 minus 100. Actually, let's go back to black with that. Equals 30. And again, I'm forgetting to draw my line down the center. Usually when I'm in class doing this, I've got you guys to remind me to do that. And then again, remember that fraction bar just means division. Fraction bar means division. Woo. So do the division. What happens when you have 30 divided by 5x? 30 divided by 5 is 6x. And 100 divided by 5 is 20. And then just carry down my minus 100 equals 30. Okay, so we did that distribution. Now, second step, combine any like terms. That minus 20 minus 100 can be combined, leaving me with a 6x minus 120 equals 30 still. And now I'm starting to isolate the x term, or the variable. So the 6x is the piece that has my variable in it, so I want to get that alone first by dealing with that negative 120. The opposite, or the inverse of a negative 120, is a positive 120, so I'm going to add 120 to both sides. The negative and positive 120 cancel out like I had hoped for. So I'm left with that 6x carrying down. And 120 plus 30 is 150. Last step, isolate the variable. Get rid of that 6 that's being multiplied by x by dividing both sides by 6, ending us with an answer of 150 divided by 6 is 25. So x equals 25. Yeah. Boom. And now our check. So again, rewriting the original exactly as it is. 2/5 parentheses 15. Oops, I'm trying to jump the gun there. Which, I mean, let's... Yeah, rewrite it originally. Sorry. Do it again. Replacing your variable with the empty parentheses. I don't know why I'm in a singing mood this morning. Fill in those parentheses with what we got for our answer, which was 25, right? We found that x to be 25. I think it's weird when I have the blue like eyes. And again, following order of operations from this point. Those gems. Groupings first, which would be inside of here. Within the groupings, I still need to follow order of operations. So before doing that subtraction, I need to start with the multiplication of 15 times 25, which gives me 375. Everything else is getting carried down as is, including the parentheses, because I have not finished with those groupings yet. It's very important to keep that there. So So 375 minus 50, still working inside of my parentheses there, gives me a 325. And then everything else comes down as is. Notice how I kept the 325 in parentheses still. That's important because I need to multiply that 2/5 by the 325 before I can do any subtraction. Multiplication comes first. So 325 times 2 for my numerators gives me 650, which was 325 times 2. And then 5 times 1 on the bottom gives me 5. I'm going to move this so it's out of the way. Actually, I'm just going to erase it because I don't want to confuse anyone. It might confuse peeps. And then again, just carrying down my minus 100 equals 30. Again, notice when I'm checking, I'm not touching that one side of the equation at all. It's just staying. So 650 divided by 5 is 130. 130 minus 100 is equal to 30. And 30 ends up being equal to 30, which proves our answer is correct. All right, that was the toughest example, and that's the toughest kind of problem you'll run into so far. Our third example isn't as bad, I promise.